Thank you.
19th.
August 19th,
Yes.
2025, meeting of DuPage County, Public Works meeting to order. A physical quorum of the members is physically present. I'll entertain a motion to permit those members not
So
physically
moved.
present
Oh, it's they, never mind. I'm just joking.
due to personal illness, employment purposes.
That
or
was
business
professional.
of the board or family, or other emergency to participate via video teleconference. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Got that? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Whatever. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Sorry.
Thank you.
All right, next up, roll call. This roll call.
Chair Childress,
Yes.
Vice Chair Zay,
Aye.
Member Desart,
Here.
Member Galassi, Member Garcia,
Here.
Member Ozog,
Here.
That it? Okay. Right now, I guess we'll move into public comments. There is none. No public comments. I don't have any remarks, any chair remarks. So we'll jump right into the agenda. The first item up is, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Properly moved to second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll get into the consent items. I'll entertain a motion to combine 6A to 6I.
Second.
Motion, any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I go here now?
So you're combined, so.
I'm gonna start reading it
Yeah,
now.
I'll entertain a motion to approve item 6A, read 6A, 6B, read 6B. Right.
I'll entertain a motion to approve 25/19/49 for Rowell Chemical Company, the purchase order decreasing in the amount of $14,740.94 and closing due to contract expiration.
Go 6B.
I'd like to move on. 25/19/50, Home Depot, the purchase order is decreasing in the amount of $22,237.50 and closing due to contract expiration. Olson Roofing, 1951, Olson Roofing. This purchase order is decreasing in the amount of $17,250 and is closing due to contract expiration. I'll move on 1952. Chicago paving contractors, this purchase order is decreasing in amount of $14,250 and closing due to contract completion. I'll move on 25/19/55 to Vesta Construction Company. This contract is decreasing in the amount of $78,304.90 and is closing due to contract completion. I'd like to move on 25/19/56, Advanced Boiler Control Services. This contract is decreasing in the amount of $38,519.35 and is closing due to contract expiring. I'd like to move on 25/19/57 to Airway Systems, Inc. This contract is decreasing in amount of $10,671 and is closing due to contract expiring. I'd like to move on 25/19/58 to Commercial Mechanical, Inc. This contract is decreasing in the amount of $353,500 and is closing due to contract expiring. And I'd like to move on 25/19/59 to Wind Free Solar. This contract is decreasing in the amount of $20,089.53 and is
Well, I'd
closing,
like to talk to the lawyer first.
and is closing due to contract expiring.
Okay, question for the lawyer. Sometimes the chair said, I'll take a motion, and
So-
some of these he said, I move to. So do you want a motion or do you want a second?
So we'll disregard the chairs, as the chair started out by asking to entertain a motion to the.
Right,
bylaws.
right.
So we need a motion and a second.
Okay, yeah, I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was just wondering how that
Thanks for the
worked.
No,
clarity.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item up is claims reports. I take a motion. Or I move on.
Which one?
All right, let's move on. That way
Okay.
we'll keep it consistent.
You got it.
All right, I'll move on 1960 claims report, public works and facilities.
Second.
Properly moved to seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll move on, PWP 2425 on a recommendation for the approval of an agreement between the county of DuPage, Illinois, and Baxter and Woodman for on-call permit and ordinance review for the period of August 26, 2025 to November 30, 2028, for a total contract amount not to exceed $90,000.
Second.
Probably moving to seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item up, we're moving to bid awards. I will move on FMP 3825 on the recommendation for the approval of a contract to Board
Second.
Mechanical to replace the number of two boiler burners at the power plant, for facilities management for a period of August 26, 2025 to November 30, 2026. For a contract amount not to exceed $1,350,445. Properly moved and seconded. All in favor?
I
Aye.
have a question.
I'm sorry.
What's the vintage of what's the replacement?
So over our power plant, are these original?
The boilers were constructed in the early seventies.
Okay,
I believe, Gavin, maybe clarify, this is your original burner.
correct.
This thing has been intermittent on us for a while, and we have a concern that intermittent means someday it may not start, so.
So we've got 50+ years on,
Okay.
We
on
do,
this.
and
And I
we
know you
inspect,
reconstructed, you.
we inspect the boilers every 10 years. We make sure they're there. The boilers obviously are under the state jurisdiction, under federal law. Gavin has to employ there 24/7 when the boilers are going. The boilers and the chillers get a lot of our attention. And this one is just acting up enough that it's time it has to be replaced.
Okay, thank you.
That close?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to move on FMP 3925 on the recommendation for the approval of a contract to Stone Group, Inc. for grease trap cleaning pumping as needed for the county campus for facilities management for a period of September 1, 2025 through August 31, 2026, for a total contract amount not to exceed $72,905.
Second.
We probably moved to second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to move on FMP 4025 on the recommendation for the approval of a contract to Olson Roofing Company for roof restoration work on the auditorium at the JTK Administration Building for facilities management for a period of August 26, 2025 through April 30, 2026, for a total contract amount not to exceed $139,000, $139 and $5.
Second.
Been properly moved to seconded discussion.
Yeah, I just wondered, how old is this roof? I know we've done some roofs on campus in the last 4 or 5 years that I've been on the board. I thought this was one of them.
We're cycling through, so keep in mind, we did, and this actually exhibit shows a really good one. You could see this is a 421 building. We have done most of it.
Okay.
This is this area over here, the work area over here.
Okay, and $139,000 doesn't seem like a lot
It's
for a
a,
roof.
it's a very good price, so what it does is you're basically buying 20 years of, it's like a membrane going over it, so every time we do this, we're buying 20 years.
Oh, okay, all right,
So-
thank you.
And I will tell you, this is needed for another part in another item in the agenda for the solar. So what we do is we make sure the roof is solid, we recoat it, resurface it, and then we put the solar on so that the roof is in good shape before we do solar.
Thank you.
But this isn't a tear off, like
No,
to
no,
the, to
no,
the guts or whatever.
No.
Okay. That was a professional.
Any other comment, questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll move into bid renewals. I'd like to move on 25-1961 on a recommendation for approval of the contract to.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, on that last, we had some feedback coming through from members A. I believe members A, did you vote nay? Did you hear? I heard some feedback. It sounded.
I think you voted.
I thought
Okay.
it was-
No, I voted aye.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll go back to bid renewals 25-1961. I will move on the recommendation for the approval of a contract to Digital RED to provide semi-annual scheduled pickup for recycling of electronic devices for the county for facilities management for a period of October 18, 2025 to October 17, 2026, for a total contract amount not to exceed $0 per renewal.
Second.
It's properly moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Why are we paying, why is a $0 item on the agenda?
So the reason, so this is our electronic recycling. So theoretically, there is a money amount involved because they are making money
Oh,
by taking this and they recycle. There's a little bit of gold in there, a little bit of precious metals in there. And so that's why we wanted to put it on, because there is theoretically an exchange of goods here. And even though we're paying zero for it, they come, they collect it, they recycle it, they're making money. And so we just wanted to make sure. And we had several vendors actually bid zero, no cost, which makes it interesting because then you have to do, I think, a flip of a coin or three.
oh,
So it's,
right.
it's interesting. So that's why we have it on there.
Okay, good. And then my other question is, since it's zero, the cost is zero to us. Wouldn't this be a great time for all the employees to be able to recycle their electronics too? Could we just add on and?
So it gets,
No.
I mean, what we do extend it to all of our like sister agencies out there but when we start bringing in our employees, then it's almost like a benefit for the employees as opposed to the general public, because they have to pay when they take their monitors and things like that to
Right.
Best Buy, they have to pay. So we don't want to extend a benefit that the general public can't get.
I was just thinking.
I
benefit to
believe
the
me,
Environment.
They would love it, they would love it, but there are, and I will say, and I'm on the environmental website, and if Joy's in here, she can probably, I know that they list all of the places in the area that the public can take electronic recycling.
Yeah,
And so there are options out there. Some of them, I know, like for a monitor, you might have to pay for it, that's the one thing,
Right.
but there are a lot of places where you can recycle. This makes it very easy, and for our different departments, EOs, one place, they can drop everything off right at the loading dock and it's right there.
gotcha. All right, thank you.
Mary.
I'm just confused. It seems like they are taking our stuff and they're gonna make money, so we don't have to pay them. But why as an individual, do I have to pay
Most
for them to take my
individuals.
stuff that they're probably gonna make some money on?
Most individuals bring TVs and screens, and those are expensive. And so that's why they pay money on. The other stuff you recycle doesn't cost anything. Like if you do a computer, a laptop, things like
Okay,
that, and
things
that's,
that
we
are
have a lot
hard-
of that.
hard
So it's
boards and-
our makeup is a little bit different than probably the general public.
No, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion?
Did I say that right,
All
Joey?
in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item up is contract increases. I'd like to move on 25-19-19, the amendment to the county contract to issue to Brightly Software, Inc. for annual maintenance edge will help this and connection authentication software licensing for facilities management for a change order to extend to the contract to November 30, 2025, and to increase the contract amount in the amount of $3,935.50, taking the original contract in the amount of $74,340.34, and the resulting in the amended contract total amount not to exceed $78,275.92. Been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I just wanted to ask, and this comes up a lot, I know I ask this a lot, but it seems to me that we pick a company, we pick the low bidder, and then they add to the contract is concerning to me.
This is actually our request to add to it because we're making them fall in line with our fiscal period. So we're taking them through, if you notice, what we're doing is we're adding 3 months on it. We're adding it through November, so it's in line with our normal fiscal period with our budgetary
Makes
process.
sense, thank you.
Any other further discussion? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And finally, we have, I'd like to move on FMCO 325. The amendment to the county contract issued to Hume Electric for phase 2 installation of solar panels on the roof of the JTK Administration Building for facilities management to add additional scope to the work to include new solar panels
Second,
through the JTK Auditorium Group, extended contract expiration to November 30, 2026, and increase the funding in the amount of $224,183, taking the original contract amount from $500,833 and resulting in the final contract cost of $799,016, an increase of 39%.
You already voted.
Member Garcia first and
Before the questions, let me kind of explain. First of all, I think Member Glossie's on now for the record. I don't know.
Yeah.
So this is one of those, it's, if you remember, we have, this committee and the board has already approved Hume Electric to install the other solars on the rest of 421. Given the fact that a lot of the federal rebates and federal programs go away at the end of the year, we wanted to add potentially that other area that I showed the picture of. And the only way to do it and qualify for those federal rebates was to do this change order. Hume is honoring their bid prices for the original. We are simply just adding more. And so they're honoring it. And so this was the only option we had in order to meet the deadlines for the federal to participate in all federal programs to get all the rebates we could. And so this might be, I mean, we'll see, but my guess is if the federal programs go away, the payback may not be quite as advantageous, so it might be more difficult to justify it in the future. But we wanted to, since we had the ability, we talked to Hume, they're like, yes, we can get the panels, yes, we can do it. We wanted to move on it.
good.
And that's why you're seeing this.
Can you give a percentage of the project that would be federal, any guesstimate?
If you exclude the savings we make from this is about break even. So this will cost you nothing to do this work. And we will be receiving, $28,000 a year in savings from the electricity it generates.
But this federal grant is significant as.
Correct, it is,
Very
it is
significant.
40% from memory.
Court, thank you.
It's an IRS program currently.
Okay, thank you.
We wanted to, this is our only opportunity and we had to figure out, okay, what mechanism do we have to move this quickly? And this was the only contract. And since they were already up there in the roof, it's just an extension of their
Great, great
contract.
job, thank you.
I'll take the member Desart, then back to Garcia.
Oh, I did that.
Okay.
Real quickly, thank you so much for this. Thank you for getting this while we can. We have this now, we'll be having it on 4021 and also on part of the auditorium. What are the other buildings we are gonna have the solar on?
Well, the problem is gonna be, your payback might not pan out in the future. We'll see, the market is completely shifting. We wanna get this on, get it working. It's gonna provide us energy efficiency moving forward. And then as the market kind of recalibrates after all the federal programs are done, we will look whether it makes sense. I mean,
I thought we were doing it on animal services and on. Are you
we've
holding out?
we've made it solar ready. I don't think, I mean, they don't have a project that they're moving on yet. It's solar ready.
Okay,
This
So-
too shall pass. Okay.
okay, so in the future, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Member Zay's got his hand up as well.
Oh, Jim's in.
Members A?
Thank you. Yeah, just how does this affect our rate of return? I know you're saying we're gonna make $2,800, but it's a little over $2,000 a month. How does that now change the rate of return for this project by the additional cost and then the loss of federal funds for it?
So the good thing, the rebates we're talking about, we would still qualify. So as Tim said, all of this project, at least this extra one, the majority of that, we're gonna be getting back in federal rebates, federal programs. Moving forward, all of that goes away, but we will qualify for it and we will get that money. So this one is still very advantageous economically for us to proceed. I don't know if future ones would be.
Okay. I know you talked about the roofing contract, but does this void any kind of warranty we might have on the roof if we're adding anything additional on top of the roof at that point?
Sorry, this is Jeff. So when we were talking with the roofing contractor, we made sure that their warranty, as long as they're involved in the design of the slip sheets that go underneath the panels, they recertify the warranty once the panels are on there, and we're still good to go.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And then the penetrations, they'll inspect the penetrations as well, make sure that those meet their specs as well.
Okay, well, if we need the leak somewhere, I've got departments we could put the holes in.
He's got buckets.
Any other discussion? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and we'll move into the presentation.
You wanna pull it up real quick? So we are going to move forward with facilities first here, because I know Tim has to get to the next committee. I will turn it over to him, but the first thing I want to say, with facilities management, they are, as you all know, general fund funded. And we have then Public Works, which is the enterprise fund. So I will, if you want to move forward, we can kind of add as we go.
The handouts are just, what's on the slides. It's hard to read the slides here. You can read them better on your screen. Just want to let you know. First slide is just our org chart. It's the same org chart we had from last year. Just wanted to point that out. We can go through that in more detail if you'd like. There's two budgets that we have. We're gonna go through today. The first one is grounds and the second one is facilities. So for grounds, we'll start with revenue. There's two revenue sources that we have. The first one is the larger number, which, I'm sorry, I'm going to order. The first one is reimbursement of the health department. The health department is a separate unit of government. So we take care of their grounds need, which is primarily the landscaping piece of it and then the snow removal piece of it. We do evaluate that every year. Just so you're aware, what we want to do in 2026 is see how the new CRC center works, and those numbers we've addressed it in 2027. We do work with them every year to come with these. We normally go with about a 2 or 3 year program to be fair from them from a budgeting perspective, but it works out well for both parties. It has worked very advantageous. The next one, well, it's called miscellaneous. This is by far our largest revenue source in facilities, but I'll go through for both of them. This is a charge we work with finance in, and this is the charge they charge to various departments. I'll pick on a DOT. DOT is an enterprise fund, so they are reimbursed for the cost of HR services, of what finance provides them, IT, and then there's the facilities piece and the grounds piece. So we work with them. This is charged to by finance and it goes right back into the general fund. We don't see this revenue in either grounds or facilities. So that's kind of a summary of our revenue. Go ahead.
Identify name the funds that you were saying, an enterprise.
The
fund.
enterprise fund. So animal services and enterprise funds, they're invoiced. DOT's invoice, and I'm gonna punt over to your chief financial officer for the rest.
So the enterprise funds, anyone who's kind of
Outright, sorry.
self-contained,
Oh, gotcha.
where they generate their own funds and whatever they generate, they have to spend within that, live within that. The big ones are building and zoning, animal services, DOT, public works. Those are your big ones, care center to an extent as well. So those are your big ones.
Thank you. I didn't know what an enterprise fund was. Thank you.
Grounds expenses, the entirety of their increases has to do with wages. There was a union contract that was approved by you, the board, about 2 months ago. There was about an 8.7% increase in wages. That was based on market conditions and evaluated with them. So from a grounds perspective, that's where the 100% of the increase is, to make them equitable with the job in the market that they're doing. So next slide, we're going into revenue for facilities. When you look at revenue, our revenue is primarily from leases. And then the biggie, what we talked about is reimbursements, that miscellaneous line item. So I can go through that in more detail with you as well, but that's a summary of where our revenue is. That's the lion's share of what it is. So that is revenue. Next slide would be expenses. For the expenses, the increase is over 90% in two items. It is in salaries and it is in utilities. And if you go to the next slide, we kind of outline where that is. From a salary, it's primarily from three sources. The first one is, we did a lot of ARPA work, and with the ARPA work, we had salaries that were charged to ARPA. Well, with the ARPA, with the salaries now winding down to we have one project left in 2026. Those salaries were subsidized by ARPA. Now they're back into our department. As a reminder for general fund departments, not public works, but us, the 3.5% COLA in FY25 was not budgeted. So when you go into FY26, that shows up as an increase. And then the last primarily reason for the wage increases is the union contract, the 399 contract we did, that was ratified by the board in June. And those three added up. We also have 2 headcounts that were vacant last year that are filled out. The utilities, and a similar story, utilities, you've seen where ComEd, those rates have gone up at your home in June. As your rates go up, ours go up too. A lot of that had to do with distribution. And then the other one, I just want to let you know that for utilities on August 27th, we will be bidding on natural gas. So Nick will report to you where those findings are, but we have made assumptions as to about $118,000 increase we are projecting for natural gas next year due to the cost of acquiring the natural gas itself. The last minor one we had is just with the elections warehouse, there was an increase in that rent. We also included some improvements to be done. Facilities will do those improvements and then we will be reimbursed. So that will show up in the revenue ultimately, but that was the other part of the increase, and that's where.
And that increase is $81,000?
Correct. 58,000 of it is we will do the work and then we will be reimbursed for the work we do. They've asked for a large fan, they've asked for some painting, some carpet. So the lion's share of that increase, 58,000 we budgeted for it, is for improvements that we will be reimbursed for.
What were we paying before this increase?
I'd have to look, I can get it to you, I don't have it in front of me.
The overall lease for the Aurora warehouse,
Okay.
I mean, it's substantial. I
So
mean,
the increase is
this
30,
the
the increase is 30,000 a year was the increase in rent. And then 58,000 is improvements that we will do and we will be reimbursed for.
What's our
Oh,
yearly
okay.
lease amount for that?
I'll have to get back to you on it. I don't remember.
Are we in the middle of
Yearly
like a-
and monthly, it's about 30-something thousand.
30,000 a month is
Yeah,
our
and I
lease
think
amount.
when this new contract just got renewed August 1st, I recall the actual rent itself went up about 20%.
And that was what we do. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
How long is the duration of the contract? This is for the rental of the building. How
Correct.
long is that contract that just went through?
I
3
want
years?
to say 4.
4, okay.
I'm thinking the same.
Who's reimbursing you for the 58,000? That's coming from,
The building owner. What we did is, for example, as you recall, it does get very hot in there. So we're putting a large fan in there. There's a brand name, we'll skip that, but the large with the 25-foot blades. We have the ability to run through the conduit ourselves. We can bid out that piece. We can put it in cheaper than them. we have contracts for carpet. It sounds funny, but the magnitude of the county, we can oftentimes get carpet done cheaper than they can get it done because of our national contract.
So it's 81,000 minus 58,000?
Right, that's the increase in rent. Yeah.
So the lease allows us to make the improvements, and facilities, because of the volume, they can do far more money or far more work with the money that's allowed. And so we get more work done and then we get reimbursed. If we had the landlord do it, we get far less work.
Right, no, I get it. But here's the deal. I mean, when this lease is up, we had talked about moving all of that equipment to someplace else. On campus, somewhere else.
And we've
And
looked,
so do we really want to make all these improvements if we want to?
So- so we have looked over and over. I mean, we work closely with DuPage. They do a market analysis. We've looked at building something here. I mean, for the amount of money we're paying for the lease, we can never make it work so that we can build something that big for that amount of money. I mean, we'd love to, but the payback, by the time you have a payback, you're already replacing HVAC systems because the building's sold, even if you build something new.
Yeah,
And so we've never been able to solve the riddle of how do you make it pay? If you had a building, that's one thing, but we
what
have
about the IDOT building,
the
the old IDOT building? I know we're building a new one.
the DuPage building.
Yeah,
We're actually looking at that for potentially bringing the sheriff fleet back up. And
yeah,
so
I meant do that.
we are absolutely looking to repurpose over there.
But
Okay.
that would be
And-
really difficult because of the
Age.
Yeah,
age and the
the-
additions that have been made.
I
to
was
the
just
building.
wondering because.
we're on the
you know,
same
we
page. We are,
talked
that's
about-
part of it, part of our process. Jeff and Tim's team, they're looking at how do we repurpose that? The most logical repurposing would be the sheriff's fleet to use it for vehicles. It's really not set up. That building is definitely showing its age for using it for any kind of people in there constantly.
Yeah.
But the warehouse space, I hate to say it, it's a good deal and we can
Okay.
never repeat it. That's the problem. We can't, the payback never works.
Okay, I mean, I've been over there and I just thought that if we're thinking
Yeah.
about moving it somewhere else, I
Right?
put in all the money to, upgrade it when, never mind, go on. I got my answer, thank you.
His hand might still be up for me.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree with my colleagues. I mean, what does our lease say? Why would we improve the value of the leaseholder's property that we don't have a long-term lease with? Why wouldn't we just rent cooling units or something for that time period? I mean, you're basically increasing the value of his property and he's, I guess, reimbursing us. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
The reimbursement, I mean, the lease, improvements on a lease are pretty common. What's uncommon about this is having the renter party allowed to do it, and that's the difference here. So having capital improvements is pretty, whenever you redo a lease is pretty, I mean, paint it, put carpet, whatever. He's saying, hey, you guys do it and we'll reimburse you because I don't think they want to do it. And in reality, we can get more done. So at the end of the day, it's gonna be a net zero for the capital improvements, but we put out our money and then we get reimbursed.
Okay.
Got it?
That was everything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I know you have to go to
Right,
the next
right.
meeting and then our next one is public works.
Speaking about fans and
Tell
cooling,
them wait for us to.
it's really cold here
It's,
today.
it's really cold, so that's something to keep in mind.
Oh.
Tim, hang tight one second. So we
Don't run out
are,
of here.
we are, right now, some pumps are being replaced. It's a one-time thing. It's gonna be done in September, but it will be cold for a couple of weeks. So
Okay,
for
that's
the
fine.
next county board and next set of committees, I would recommend
I'll bring my
maybe
light.
being, dressed in some fleece coming here because it's gonna be a little bit cold.
Send that
If
email.
it's not cold, it's sticky. We're balancing right now. We're trying to figure
No
out
worries,
the.
I'm just,
But it's
I
a
was
one,
curious.
it's a one-time,
I wear
we'll
my
get it
summer-
improved and we'll be done with
Right.
it.
Okay, I'll dress
So,
appropriately.
So unlike
Blankets.
facilities management, public works, enterprise
I know.
funds, so our water, our sewer and water user fees are what funds this. And I'm gonna turn it over to Stan in a second, but as you can see right there, department overview, as I said, enterprise fund. We provide water and sewer for a much smaller, but sewer about a quarter of the county's population. in the southeast quarter of the county. Next slide. And at this, I'll turn it over to Stan to start grinding through some numbers here.
Sure, real quick, right before I jump in, I just want to acknowledge and thank Chris Day, our senior accountant, and Drew for working with Sean and I and the operations team and pulling together the budget. We'll jump into revenue right now. Intergovernmental revenue in 2025, we have about $5.6 million. 2026, it's zero. That's the DECIO grant we have for the electrical project. We're going to complete that this year and be fully reimbursed. So that was part of the $10.2 million grant, a really big thing for us. Investment income, we're planning on that being flat year over year, $1 million. That's what we're earning on our reserves. Third item, enterprise charges for services. That is going up pretty substantially. The majority of that, $1.3 million of that increase is Darien water. We bill on behalf of the city of Darien, and the first time in a long time they've had a rate increase, and that's just flowing through our numbers. Our rates ourselves for we charge our customers for sewer and water services are going up about 3% a year, or 3% this year. This is the last year of the last rate study, and the last year we have in the ordinance for a rate increase. So in 2026, we'll do a rate study for the next 4 years, 27 through 30. So that's coming next year. Let's jump to expenses. Salaries, I'll focus on 26 as compared to 25 projected. Salaries are going up 2.2%. We're assuming a COLA right now in our budget of 2.75%. We do have some increases also related to the union contracts that were ratified in the last few months. So we have an annualization of that. But our increase of 2.2% is substantially less than the impacts of those items. And that's because of some operational savings that we have. So, you know, I'll give you some examples. We're going from 5 billers down to 4. We're going from, we're reducing 1 meter reader. You've heard about some of the lab things we had in the last committee meeting. There's some savings there, and we're substituting some of those roles with wastewater operators, for instance. So there's some net, there's some nice savings here. Benefits, that's simply going up for the projected increases we're assuming for healthcare that we were given. The benefits, just to point out, versus previous years, the numbers jump up and down because us being an enterprise fund, we have some actuarial and pension adjustments that's happened through the audit. So based on accruals, they go up and down. But right now, that 26 versus 25 is apples to apples. Other commodities, that is going up 5.7%. That's inflationary impacts coupled with increased polymer usage. So at our plant, we remove biosolids. And as that process becomes more efficient, we actually use more polymer, and we anticipate 10 orders of polymer next year versus we've in the past been running 8. So that's the cost increase there. As Tim mentioned, utilities, they're going up. Ours are going up. We're assuming 5.9%. ComEd, the big hit that's happened and has happened in everybody's bills. There's been a huge increase in capacity charge. And then the second impact is for our water that we distribute for our system. The DuPage Water Commission rates recently increased as they're passing on the city of Chicago rate increases. And finally, it's city of Chicago.
I was gonna talk to Mr. Zay, but just throwing it out.
Okay.
Not the water commission's fault, I'll tell you that. That's,
I know.
No.
I'm gonna
He's still on.
Sorry, Stan.
I'm gonna move on to other contractual. That is, you know, part of our operating expenses, a big increase, right? 9.3 to $11.3 million. Out of that, I mentioned the Darien water increase. We also have passed through for a portion of of unincorporated Glen Ellen where we offload our sewer treatment to, that sanitary district. So between those, that's $1.3 million of the increase in other contractual. And then for complete, visibility, we also budget contingency in that line item, and we sometimes draw on a portion of that, but we have reserves for when things come up. In enterprise fund, we don't want to have to go back and ask for additional appropriation if things come up. So that's for items unknowns, such as if electricity goes up more than expected. Capital outlay, we've covered capital. That's basically the capital plan we covered last committee. Debt service, we also kind of covered that at last committee, where we're going to have to start paying down some of the loans, IPA loans we're taking out. So that's all planned for, and depreciation expenses going up as we put the new assets in service, such as our Nordic plant and electrical improvements. I'll close on next slide, debt coverage. We see this during audit, we see this during budget presentation. Point of all of this is we're solid in our ratios so it's kind of like our external scorecard. We have sufficient days operating reserves, we meet external standards in terms of that service. So solid position.
This is kind of a health checkup for the department. It gives you the metrics that a lot of the rating agencies, different bond houses they look at. The takeaway is we're very solid. You can see a slight downward trend, which we'd expected. That's why we need to complete a rate study next year. And that would be expected, but we are very solid right now, well above industry average.
Okay, I'll take Mr. Zay. I see Mr. Zay's hands up.
I think that might be.
That might be a holdover from before. No, okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Any other questions on it? Member Desai?
Thank you. I'd like to go back to expenses on page 12. And I'm looking at, the expenses of equipment is only 131,000. That seems really low for annual equipment. And then other commodities is at almost $2 million. So I wonder what's the difference between equipment and other commodities? I mean, like, where do vehicles come in? Do they come in at?
Can we pull up that?
Other
Okay, good, you have
commodities?
it. So you're talking 131,000 in equipment.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like very much.
So if we buy a piece of equipment that's $30,000 or greater, that will be in the capital row. And so this is smaller equipment.
Makes sense.
For instance, I just approved the invoice the other day for $26,000 of wiring that we had to do at the facility. That would go in that row.
Gotcha.
And
Okay, that makes
keep in
sense.
mind too, that a lot of times this is actually just the piece of equipment because our staff is pretty advanced and a lot of the work needed to repair these, install these, do whatever our staff can do.
Okay.
So
And then we have a vehicle rotation where we buy vehicles, so many vehicles we replace every year. Would that come under the capital then? Or would it come under that special vehicle fund? Nick,
No.
you and I have talked.
no,
about it
it's
before.
not. The special vehicle fund is for general fund only.
Okay,
We fund, all the enterprise fund, they fund their own vehicles and we are no exception. Public Works will fund their own vehicle replacement in here.
and that would be under capital then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, guys. I'm just trying to understand.
Our trucks and vehicles are about 150, 130 to 150 a year in our capital plan. And then equipment, like you remember, we had one that went from like 150 to almost 700 because we're buying a Vector. This 2026, so all capital.
Okay, good.
And I'll tell you, we're a little bit different on the vehicle side because we actually have another phase of using them. Theoretically, we can bring them onto our plant and get a little bit more life out of it as well.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay. Any other questions on the presentation? Doesn't.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
Dan. Thanks, Sean.
Any old business?
Not too bad.
Any new business?
Thank you.
All the answers.
Oh, okay.
We're our adjourned.